Greg, that touchdown was obviously, something that requires precise timing and Russ trusting you to be in the right spot and all that. First game for you, new to the offense. Just what does that show about the chemistry you guys have built already?
Yeah, it was a great start. It's always nice to know that the quarterback feels comfortable enough with you to kind of trust you and kind of throw a ball before you even turn around. But I kind of joked that I didn't really have much of a choice but to catch it, because if I didn't, it would have been a disaster. I probably would have knocked my face mask off. But yeah, it was great timing. I got a little jammed up there. I was supposed to be a little deeper. There was some traffic and had to break it off a little early, and Russ just had a great window through the line there, and just trusted that I was going to come out of the break. And when I turned my head, it was right there. So it was a nice, for the first game, to start developing some of that timing and rhythm, and knowing that we're building on that trust each and every day. Is nice. We got a lot of work to do. I still got a lot of things to learn within the framework of the offense, but overall it was a good first start.
Chris Francis.
Hey, Greg. Along those same lines, the Russ said, diversifying the football was something that he was proud of on Sunday. Obviously, you're new, but the fact that it's happening so quickly in this offense, do you feel that? Is there more work to be done? Is it just a product of having so many weapons?
Yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done. We by no means, played flawlessly. We had some mistakes. We had some, miscues that sometimes don't pop out on the screen. Kind of Russ sometimes can make some mistakes kind of go away. He's kind of like a racer to a degree. But, there's a lot of work for us all to do, just understanding timing, understanding landmarks, understanding adjustments. And sometimes the only way to learn those things is to do them. You can sit there and talk about it and watch tape and discuss it, but until you go through those live reps time and time again, practice, and then of course games, that's really where you start building that chemistry. So, as an offense, we still feel like we have a lot of room to grow. That was one game, week one. We have a lot of work to do to get where we want to be.
Jen?
The Patriots are going to adapt to whatever team they face, so we don't know how they're going to use Cam Newton, but after being his teammate for so long, what do you know for sure that Cam will always do?
He's going to compete hard. He's going to do everything he can in his power to give his team a chance to be successful, whether that's throwing it, running it, scrambles, design runs, short yardage, goal line. Whatever the situation presents. It's just the competitor that he is. It's the type of guy that he is. Our guys, they know him well. They've played against him a lot. They know the challenge that he is. They have a ton of respect for him, as we all do. I told him that I talked to him the other day. I said, man, I want you to have a great year, just not in week 2. But I want what's best for him. He's an awesome guy. We have a great relationship. But for 1 week, we're gonna control him, hopefully.
Joe?
Greg, this is really random, but I'm curious about the beanie. Is that like just part of your swag? I've noticed every time you don't have a helmet on, you got the beanie on. Even in the heat of summer in August, I think you'd take a couple of plays off, take your helmet off, and the beanie immediately on.
Yeah, it's something I've done for pretty much my whole career. When I'm working out or training, practice, walk. I don't know. I just have always done it. It started back when I was in Chicago. It was cold. I didn't like training with a baseball hat on, like a ball cap. I don't know. I just started wearing a beanie, and like you said, summer, winter, indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. I don't know. It just kind of happened.
Bob?
Yeah, Greg, one more on Cam. He obviously dealt with injuries a lot the last couple of years and stuff like that. Do you think that led to any perception, I guess, about what kind of future he had left and all of that, and sort of left him, out there to be gotten? And then when you saw him, Sunday, it looked like he's sort of back to his old self physically.
Yeah, injuries, as we all know in this league, always creates a lot of questions. You play the game long enough, you're bound to have something happen. I had it happen to me firsthand, and people kind of gave up on me. The same thing happened to Cam. He was banged up there for a couple of years, kind of out of his control, and all of a sudden, instead of just saying, hey, here's a really good player, but he's just banged up and dealing with some stuff, all of a sudden the message is, he's done. He's not the same guy anymore. So I get it. I understand what that label will do to you, and how much you want to go out and prove people wrong and show yourself, show everybody that believes in you that you can still play. And I'm sure a lot of that fuels him as he prepares for his second start there in New England. I'm sure he hears all those things. So I get it. He's a great player. I've seen it up close and personal. Everyone, he's a great player. He's dealt with some injuries, but that's just part of the game. But when he's intact and he's healthy, he's a handful.
Have time for one more with Greg. Michael Sean.
Hey, Greg, you were there Cam's first year when the number of really talented black quarterbacks was not as high as it is now. And what have you thought of the rise of black players at that position since you've been in the league?
Yeah, there's been a dramatic shift. I think that's the reality of it. And you just see so many of these guys who've come into the league, and everyone wants to always stereotype and say, oh, they're runners, they're runners. But, we're seeing these guys come in, these young quarterbacks across the league, and they're great athletes. From the time they were young, they were, just around the game a lot more. The youth game has really developed a lot. But these guys are not just standing back there in high school and college anymore, just statues throwing the ball. They're, from the time they're young, they're dual threat guys. And they're, you're starting to see, it used to just end in college, and then it was more prototypical, whatever that means, quarterback play in the NFL. You're seeing that kind of dual threat stuff come through. And, Cam obviously was at the front of it. You had RG3 kind of right on the tail of him, Kaepernick. But now recently, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson and Mahomes. It's impressive. These guys are so talented. They're so athletic, but they're very smart. They play the quarterback position. They just happen to be great athletes. And I think that's really the magic of the position these days is, having that ability to move around, create. We see it with Russ all the time. They're not just statues. And it's just huge for an offense. Like I said, they can put out a lot of fires because you don't have to be perfect. And, the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of really special guys at the position come into the league. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Greg.